Okay, so we good. Yeah, we finally got LJ. Save his mind's debt. The debt matrix.
Morpheus.
Morpheus. Yeah, we got him. How it's been going with you, brother?
I'm good, man. Things have been good. Things have been real good.
All right, this is
Doing
gonna
what I
be very
love.
good. What you say?
Doing what I love.
Exactly. All right, this is gonna be good right here. Every time when you come on, you gonna have some pushback and everything. So, and I got some actually new ideas and new
Okay.
pushback for you. You get
I
what I'm
figured that.
saying?
I figured it would. That's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely. My first thing is I'm not gonna hop into it already. I'm just gonna slowly get into it. But those like we got some new supporters up in here. So can you do a quick favor and introduce yourself real quick?
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is where slaves live. Now, there's two kinds of slaves. There's unconscious slaves and there's conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves can't see negative numbers. They have no idea negative numbers exist, right? For example, if you are a homeowner with a mortgage, if you open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, that's going to be a large negative number. Now, if you still believe you're a homeowner, you're what's called an unconscious slave because you don't believe that negative number that you're seeing on the calculator and you still believe you're a homeowner, right? Conscious slaves were once unconscious. Now they believe the calculator and they become a conscious slave. They're still a conscious slave because they're in debt, but they know they're a slave in debt. So now they see negative numbers. That was me up to the age 40. And then one day I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the math that we learned in elementary school, apply it to your finances with these baby steps, and you'll win with money. That's what I did. Got out of debt. Now I'm free. And SMD was born. Savings Minus Debt was born. And here I am.
All right, and yeah, that's good. And a quick question, can you do you know why people be unconscious slaves? Like, do you know what makes them?
I do. I just said it. They can't see negative numbers.
Oh, yeah, negative numbers. Okay,
They,
that's good.
they
That's good.
don't. They cannot see negative numbers. They have no idea they exist. Even though they taught us all in elementary school about negative numbers, grown adults can't see them for some reason. But that's a program. I do know the reason. That's on purpose
Okay, it's on purpose. Gotcha.
because the economy wouldn't exist without slaves. It couldn't exist.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's facts. So, well, I was about to say, like, we're not talking about business credit. We're talking about just personal credit, right? Just want to verify on that.
Correct. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes, personal credit.
All right, so we're gonna talk about personal credit. Put it this way, um, isn't there like a certain amount of years that you have to wait for the credit, like besides student debt, before credit that you got disappear off your account? Is it like 6 years or 8 years? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard about that, but that's not true. Only unconscious slaves believe that.
So it's like, all right, so this is where we're gonna get.
Yeah, if you're waiting 7 years, if only people that can't see negative numbers would ever tell anybody or even ask that question for a bill to stay on your credit for 7 years before it fall off. That means that telling the world that I don't pay my bills. That's what I don't pay my debts. That's what you're telling the world. But they don't know they're saying that though. They don't know they're saying that.
But what happened if it's like this, LJ? What happened if they wait 7 years? Let's say that okay, they can't pay their debt, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
What happened if they wait for 7 years so that could disappear off their account, and they gonna be like, I ain't worried about it saving as much debt because I'm gonna soon start using business credit. I'm gonna get a business and all that, blah blah blah.
Um, they're just talking unconsciously because they don't see negative numbers, right? They don't. That's called slave splaining. They don't know that they're doing that, right? They don't know that the only. Though I talk about business, I mean, excuse me, personal finances only. I'm telling you, I'm saying to you, there is really no. The only difference between finances between business and personal is taxes. Okay, that's the only difference between taxes and business taxes and personal taxes because just the way the slaves can't see negative numbers and believe they're homeowners in personal side, it's the same way in business. They get a business loan, buy a business with a loan. they believe they're business owners, but they're not. The bank owns the house and the bank. They don't. The house, the house and the business. The bank owns them both, but slaves don't know that because they can't. If they could see negative numbers, they would clearly see that they're not homeowners or business owners.
All right, so I'm gonna throw you a curveball. You ready for this, though, LJ?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, so let's say if it's a woman like her, right?
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're going there. We're going there. Let's say she lives under government assistance, you know. Let's say she got WIC, she got EBT, and the housing she's staying is paid for by the government, but she like to use other men's money. You know, is she a slave right there? Is she a slave with her house? She says she owns her house and everything, even though it's like by the government. Is that, you know, is this situation right here when she got 2 kids, is she a slave or not?
That's called slave explaining. She don't own anything.
So like, let's just say that she don't got no debt or nothing, but she using, you know, WIC and she using EBT and she paying like $30 a month for the rent from the government.
Mm-hmm.
So you sure she don't own anything? Oh, she even got a car, you know, every time her income tax come. That's the dogs.
When you say, I'm trying to understand your question. What do you mean by own anything? What do you mean by that when you say that?
Oh, okay. So let's say it's, she don't. You're right. Let's say she don't own her house. Okay, she got she renting it.
If she's on WIC and food stamps, she don't own anything.
Even if she get that $10,000 income tax, you know.
What's that got to do with owning anything, though? That's what I'm trying to get clarification. Why, just because she got some money coming in, what's that got to do with owning anything?
I just thought that it, like, you know, if she, you know, the word, here comes the word, if she feel like, you know, she got some money coming in, she'll feel like she's about to own something. You get what I'm saying? That's how it usually happens.
But she's not. That's called slave explaining. That doesn't mean anything. They can't see negative numbers. That's what the problem is. That's what, and I'm saying that to you. The real answer to true wealth, this is the real answer, okay? I have the ability to see negative numbers. Millions of people cannot. That's the real answer, right? And unconscious slaves can't see negative numbers. That's the answer. But so the woman being on WIC has nothing to do with owning anything.
So I was gonna say something else, but that wouldn't be necessarily legal. You know.
What is it? It doesn't matter.
I was about to say like what, but you know, that's like on some Bandman Kevel status right there, like, you know, using somebody else's, you know, account or something.
Yeah, that's called fraud.
Oh, it's called fraud. Okay.
Yeah, that's illegal. Yeah.
And why is it that nobody could hack the credit bureau?
Because they will bury you. That's how they keep track of all the slaves. If you come in there, if a hacker, check this out. If a hacker ever hacks the credit bureau agencies, they will bury him or her. You will never hear about him, ever.
See, that is true. They wouldn't even speak about it, you think?
Like, let me give you like, if anybody tried to hack the credit bureaus to mess with credit scores and money, Social Security card database, you will get buried. IRS databases, you will get buried. You will disappear, or you'll work for them for the rest of your life. They say go to prison or work for us for the rest of your life. Which one you gonna choose? You gonna work for them for the rest of your life.
So what do you guys say about the people who had supposedly thought they've been successful with the PPP loan? You know, what do you guys say about that?
They don't know that they're owned now. That they did PPP loans are easy to get on purpose because they can't see negative numbers. So if they make it easy to get hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars by lying on a piece of paper, that was a trap. You might as well put it this way. If you steal PPP money, you obviously are a slave because you're risking the time in your life for worthless pieces of paper, right? Now, This is the equivalent of stealing a PPP loan, okay? If you walked into a bank with a gun, no mask, a big 2-foot sign on your chest with your name, social security number, and your address, and no gloves, and you're touching everything and say, hey, everybody, get on the deck down. This is a robbery. I'm going to kill you all if you don't. And then you pop 3 people as you leave, as you steal the money. And then you get in a car that's parked right out in front. That's the equivalent of stealing PPP money.
Straight savage.
They will have their time. They'll get to you. There's just a matter of time. They're going to get to everybody, I promise you. Because statute of limitation on criminal activities, there's no statute of limitations.
Okay, I can agree on that. I sure can, because there've been times where the PP loan been done like damn near 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago. Let's just say 2 years ago. People done got their money, they done damn spent it, got it back, spent it, and they thought everything was good, and then all of a sudden, boom, hey, you owe like 25 grand. It just come out of nowhere. So I do agree about that. It's like it comes at the least.
Well, they wait. They wait till they spend the money, because if you're an idiot, as soon as you press enter, just before you press enter, they say, hey, by the way, if this is a lie, you can get, this is the prison time you can get in trouble, right? But they hit enter. They so focused on the money, and now they're owned for the rest of their life. Once you get caught, now you are owned for the rest of your life. That's a felony.
So even if they got the GoFundMe account, or let's say they got OnlyFans or GoFundMe account, and they're like, please, this has happened. They be like, please help, give me some money so I can pay back this PPP loan. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
That's evidence for their conviction. Because they're telling that they stole the money and did what they wasn't supposed to do with it. So they stole it and try to say, like those some people, they say it out in the open. I'll just get the PPP loan and invest in cryptocurrency or something like that, and then pay the money back. Well, that's called money laundering. When you take money, stolen money, and and use it for purposes not what it was not intended for, that's called money laundering. So as soon as you press enter, they're done. It doesn't matter what they do with the money from after that. It doesn't even matter. They're already done.
So
even if they applied and didn't get the money, they still committed fraud. Because they tried to do it. They tried to defraud the government. That's all they need. Now
I like how you said that. I like how you was like they already, that's evidence right there.
Correct.
So
hey, please help me. I took money and I wasn't supposed to. They're just going to pull down that video, and then on your court date, they're just going to press play and say, look, they said it right there. They did it. They did it illegally. Convicted. You probably won't even make it to court.
Why is it that these people who be getting I'll say drug lords or whoever, it's like one of these people who get hit with RICO charges and it be money laundering, and they're like, head honcho bosses. Why is it that they let them get like an expensive lawyer? They get the whole case and everything set up just for them to do time?
Because it doesn't matter. They have the right to due process. That's all that is. If you want to spend the money for your conviction, go ahead. But you're convicted. As soon as you press enter, there is no getting out of that.
There's no getting out of it. Pretty much, you're saying you're screwed either way.
You're screwed because you did it for money. That's what they're doing it for. They're doing it for money. And anybody that will risk the time in their life for worthless pieces of paper, they make $100 bills for 14 cents. 14 cents. And if you stole, say like this, say like you got, let's keep it small. Say like somebody got a PPP loan for $1,000 and they stole the money illegally. PPP fraud, right? Now they're owned for the rest of their life for $1.40. That wasn't really 10 $100 bills. That's $1.40. That's not $1,000. So now they can get possibly 10 years for $1.40.
But it's like you gotta realize that. How do I explain? Yeah, they make $100 bill for 14 cents, but the people who making it that worth it, they like, okay, this right here is worth $100, and money really don't exist, so they just turn that into something. They just like find a way to get those couple of 14 cents pieces of paper, and they find a glitch to the point where it's like, oh, now I got $5,000, $50,000 in my account. That's what you got to kind of look at it like, LJ. It's like they was trying to go for that type of approach.
Well, they think that, but no currency in any form exists for slaves. Nothing. Gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, nothing.
So what about property or something?
What's that?
What about property though? Let's say if
slaves can't own any property. They have no money. There's only one way to buy property, and that's money. Unconscious slaves don't have money. They can't see negative numbers.
So check this out. Let's just say a conscious slave, an unconscious slave is in debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say that they have like 30K worth of debt, and they still managed to buy a piece of land, an acre. They managed to buy an acre of land for like $5,000. Let's say that and they had the cash on them,
Mm-hmm.
and they bought it. So do they own that dang acre of land, even though they got $30,000 in debt behind their name?
No, because that's impossible. 5,000 minus 30,000 is negative 25,000. You have no money to buy anything, so you can't buy nothing. You can buy property with negative $25,000. I'd love to see that.
No. That's true. That's true. But
Right.
I'm saying that
That's a fact. You can't.
there's no bank behind them that they borrowed $5,000 from to get that land. They just had, whether they was trapping, stripping, or whatever they did, but they came up with that $5,000 in cash to pay for that piece of acre, and they was hoping for it to go in value. So will you like explain that?
Okay. Let's go back before buying the piece of property. Okay.
Okay.
Before we buy the property, we got 5,000 minus 30,000 equals negative 25,000. You can't buy anything with negative 25,000. So the cost of the property doesn't matter.
So
unless you can show me how to buy something with negative $25,000, I'll believe you.
So let's just say that let's say that piece of property was given to them. Let's say if their great grandmother or they aunt passed away, and it was like in the will, here we give this unconscious slave 5 acres of land, and they already at 30K in debt. What do you think about that?
The first thing an unconscious slave is going to do, if they were given that property, the first thing what's going to happen is the bank is going to reach out to them and say, hey, you want to refinance, take some equity out of that land and blah, blah, blah. And that's what they're going to do. If you give an unconscious slave with negative $30,000 in debt, free property with no working up for themselves of getting it, the bank is going to reach out to them and going to say, hey, you know, that land is worth, let's say 50,000, you can refinance and take a loan out against it or whatever they say. It's just business. And then they're going to take it out and then they're going to lose it. They don't know to sell the property and get out of student loan debt. They will never do that.
Dang. So I wanted to use this as a quick example because this was actually given to this person right here, and he just now started to so do you see this right here?
I see a car, something like that.
All right, so I do a quick brush down it. There was this fan of this rapper named Young Dolph.
I know he is. I like Young Dolph's music.
Yeah. So he had won some type of competition, and Young Dolph had pulled up on him right here as we see, and had gave him this what is it, Lamborghini Aventador, whatever you want to call that shit.
Somebody gave him that?
No, Young Dolph had gave it to one of his fans for winning something. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. All right, I'm listening.
And this was an unconscious slave. So this was years ago. I ain't gonna lie, this was years ago. So come to find out, this happened a couple of days ago. This person who won this from Young Dolph is now selling this for $459,000. So that kind of reminded me of the story that you was talking about with if you give somebody something and they're like, in debt or something. What do you think?
I mean, I would have to question the whole give thing. I don't really, that just kind of doesn't make sense. But if he's taking it and selling it, and if he takes that money and pays, and if it's true, and he takes it and sells it and pays off his debt, cool. I mean, that's what I would do. I would sell that car. I wouldn't. $500,000 car. I'm getting the money. I don't want a car.
Yeah. But why it took that person like about, I say like 3 years to do it. And you know how much the oil and tires cost on, vehicles like that. So I think it has something to do with not being able to afford it.
That may be so too. Just when I hear about stuff like that, there's more to the story than what people think. You're gonna give an unconscious slave a $500,000 car. Were you parking outside your apartment? Were you parking at,
I like how you think. It's like it could have been a tax write-off, of course, and it could be many other scenarios behind it. So It's like I'm just touching the mirror. That's all. I'm just touching the mirror. Morpheus,
right. And I would have to know if that car that he gave away was it really Young Dolph's car, or was just Young Dolph in there to look like it was his car to give? This people just believe. You got to remember, unconscious slaves can't see negative numbers, so they believe about shiny stuff and expend. It don't really, like, for example, let me give you an example. That car, that whatever the car you just showed me, it didn't really cost $500,000 to make that one car. It didn't. That's not true. It doesn't. But the people who build the car just made people believe it costs that much money. It doesn't really cost that much money to make that car.
I get you saying it. Just like people just make the value of anything, you know.
Correct. It's what people believe. It's what people like. You see somebody, hey, I dropped $800 on a Gucci belt. It didn't really cost $800 to make that belt.
I can vouch for that.
Gucci just made people believe. They did a good job in making people believe their stuff cost that much. Hands down to Gucci.
That's true. They were selling those things for $30 in Korea.
Right. It doesn't really cost that much. It's just here's a good example. Say like you went into Gucci and bought the $800 belt, didn't open it, didn't unwrap the package, have the receipt with it, everything, and you went online to sell that same belt. And you say, I'm selling this Gucci belt for $800. Nobody would give you $800 for that belt, even though you didn't touch it. Why? Because it's not coming from Gucci. Gucci built that reputation, not the people that buy it.
Oh shit, that's Sal's. Okay. What's up?
What's up, Sal's?
Yeah, you're right. You know what? That do make sense because they'll probably say it's fake, or they'll be like, that's not Gucci. Yeah. You're right.
You're never gonna get it. Even though you can say, I didn't touch it, man. I just bought it from the store. Here's the receipt. They're like, I don't care. I'm not paying you $800. But they'll pay $800 for that same belt by walking into Gucci because Gucci built their reputation, not the person.
Wow, that is so brainwashing right there. Now that I could agree with you with, like, the fact that you say you could buy it from Gucci, have the receipt, don't even open up the box and go and be like, here, buy this. This is a Gucci belt. I didn't do nothing to it. And they be like, nah, get up out of here. Yeah. But they will go inside that. Now, y'all listen to what he's saying about that. If people could look at it like that point of view, then I believe it'll be more easier for them to be like, wow, I am a conscious slave. You know what I'm saying? They be like, yo, wow, like, this is crazy, you know?
But since they can't see negative numbers, they don't know. They don't know that.
Yeah. See that this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to take a detour. We're trying to go around to the point where they could start to soon see a little negative numbers, whether it's cherry picking or not. You kind of
all they gotta do is look at the calculator. That's all they gotta do. It's not hard. Just look at the calculator.
Yeah, but LG, this is like meditation. This is like me. Okay, you're monk mode. I'm on my way to becoming a monk mode, but I understand what you're talking about. But let's say there's a new crowd of people talk about how do I get monk mode, LJ? And you talk about just sit and be. And they're like, okay. But you know what I'm saying? You can't, it's literally that simple.
I would never tell them like they're too gone to talk like that. I know exactly what you're saying, young Grump. But to talk to an unconscious slave about monk mode and stuff, they won't hear you. That's why I use the calculator. It's undeniable. It's undeniable.
I get it. I get what you're saying. It's
I never go that deep on an unconscious slave. I do that. I meditate every single morning. You think I'll tell an unconscious slave that? No, that's pointless.
So I got another question. Have you ever took in consideration of how you be calling people slaves? Like, does that ever get to you? Do people complain about you and be like, yo, what's wrong with you, LJ? You calling people slaves? Slavery ended like 100 years ago. Like, why are you still going around calling people slaves, man?
Yeah, because I don't really care the opinions of unconscious slaves. I just don't care what they think, right? And you know, of course, they always go to the slave that they learned on TV, right? Nobody's talking about that kind of slave. Proverbs 22:7 slave. That's what I'm talking about. Look it up, and you will see it's called a debt slave. And when they talk, it's like it's like somebody, you know, when they talk, they don't know what they're saying. So I really don't even hear slaves, right? I don't hear them because they're important though. They're important to the economy. I only hear them when I need to hear them. All right.
Exactly.
Student loan debt. Okay. We need you guys to keep paying student loan debt, car payments, all that stuff. We need you to do financing phones, all that.
Hey, real quick, LJ, shouts out from Toronto, TV Junkie. We got Moe Factz up in here. Moe Factz, check your IG, Moe Factz. TyBeTrolling. I'm a wage slave right now, but not forever. These people right here, we got some people who come together. Trolling slave family members gets them ticked. I called them that in English and Spanish. My aunties be like, what? Our ancestors were slaves. I'd be like, you are one too.
Sal's is getting hardcore, man. He's getting worse than me.
I thought you was
like
hardcore.
Gabriel. Some people, hey, I'm just the one to be on the mic talking. I mean, I don't talk like this in public. I don't pull down my mask in public. They'll see me when I'm wearing my shirt, maybe, but other than that, they don't know that I can see negative numbers. Slaves don't know that. They don't
So,
know that.
so I get what you're saying, but Sal's, you're going extreme because this would be the point where, I'm not saying you ain't street or not. You may be street, but I'm just saying people get triggered by that and they may want to try to stump you out. So LJ, but hear what LJ said. LJ said, I don't pull my mask down while I'm around a whole bunch of slaves. He's saying that he don't reveal his real. He's not like, put it this way, the Matrix. You know how people become Agent Smith?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is right there.
Right.
It's like they don't like when they die or like they'll just see like Neo or Morpheus and they'll shake their head and boom, they're Agent Smith. You don't do that in public. That's pretty much what it is. You don't like show them that you're an alien.
I'm not saying you can't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can do what you want, but you got to say it around certain people. He sounded like he was just saying this to his family members or other people or something like that. People close to you. It doesn't,
okay.
Ain't like that going to jump off. But if you're just going up to a random person and call them a slave, I would never do that.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you broke it down like that, LJ, because you just had made me understand. Okay, my bad, Sals. LJ helped me understand. He's saying that you only do that to your family members. You don't just go up to somebody and be like, hey, slave. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on, we're not. Okay, I get it.
Because they don't know that. And honestly, let me say what it really is, young girl, because everybody has a choice. Because I was a slave once too, right? What they're really it's really called unconscious ego. Okay. Unconscious ego can't see negative numbers. And the people are slave to unconscious ego. They don't know they're following unconscious ego. You can stop and say, hey, wait a minute. That doesn't make any mathematical sense. Let me turn around and go the other way. That's what I did. I stopped, realized I was going the wrong way, turned around. I said, oh, I was following the wrong person. Okay. Now I'm just not. That's it.
That's pretty much it. Just like a little hiccup right there in the Matrix. But what you got to go ahead and give credit to slaves for being number one, dude.
They are number one. They are number one. Without them, I couldn't be.
So why you mistreat them kind of? It's not like not mistreat, but why you just so, like how a priest is or something? Why don't you just slowly like, like talk nice to people? Why you gotta be so mathematically sensible and everything?
Because there's no feelings in math. What's 1 + 1 = 2? What am I supposed to be happy about that? Sad? When you hear 1 + 1 = 2, do you jump for joy?
Yeah, put it this way. All right. I'm a kid, I'm in class, and you're a teacher, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, you'd be like, okay, young grump, what's 1 + 1? And I'm a kid, and I'm like, I say 21. And you'd be like, no, 1 + 1 is 2. Like you see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna know 1 + 1 is 2 now, but just that way that you deliver it made me feel like, damn, Sailor's Mind's Dead is a fucking jerk.
Well, I wouldn't do that to a kid. A kid is learning. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say it like that to a child. To a grown up, yeah, because they know better.
I get it. Okay, hold on real quick. Appreciate it. Oh snap! I remember the brother right there.
What's up, Ulysses? I haven't seen him
in a minute. Just here to support the collaboration. Oh, I appreciate that. Definitely, he been a long supporter.
Yeah, he been around for my early days.
Yes, sir. Shouts out to you, young Grump on his old Grump today. LJ, can you believe they made an account called Old Grump on here? That comes.
Is that supposed to be against you or something, or is that something to do with you?
I don't know. Yeah, because I forgot my name is Young Grump on here. So when they see Young Grump, I just look and then I just saw them. And it said Old Grump, and I just been dying laughing. I was like, these people really made an account called Old Grump. Man. Mm-hmm. Ask LJ his thoughts on the effort to make math racist. Hey, Moe Factz, if you want to check your IG, I sent you the little thing. But yeah, that's you see that, LJ?
Yeah, those are feelings. Those are people's feelings about math, and it's just I don't really talk about it. I don't really care how people feel about math. That's a feeling.
You see, and LJ,
when you call if you call math racist, that's how people feel. That's how somebody feels about math. It doesn't matter how anybody feels about mathematics.
Yeah. So it's like good credit and bad credit. There's really no such thing.
No such thing. They're just when somebody tells you that good debt, bad debt, they're just telling you how they feel about debt and credit. I don't care how you feel about debt and credit.
Oh, okay. See, exactly. Just like Flag said, too direct, LJ. You get what I'm saying?
There is no other way to tell somebody a math problem. There is no other way. Tell me another way to say 1 + 1 = 2. Tell me another way to say
LG, you gotta understand my generation, is this era for my generation,
Right.
we're very sensitive, so you gotta learn how to have emotional intelligence behind it, and you gotta slowly pamper us and tell us the truth. You can't just rip the band-aid off and give it to us like that. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
Well, I mean, those are slave feelings. I guess that's how they feel. I guess. I don't know. That's
Do
how
you
they.
think that you could have saved a couple of unconscious slaves and made them become conscious slaves, but the way that you've been too direct and too mathematical, they probably just been like, I ain't got time for it. Have you ever
Oh,
thought of it
I'm
like that?
sure of that. I'm sure that
Yeah.
happens all the time because I don't want the majority to know what I know. That'd be bad news.
Oh, so you giving away free games. So people who have your Morpheus mindset is really mad at you.
What do you mean mad at me? What are you talking about?
They're mad at you for even bringing this up right
Oh
here.
no, that's not true. No.
Oh,
They don't. People that understand how money works, they're not mad at me because there's plenty for everybody. There's enough room for everybody.
but
That's not true. The rich are not holding people back and holding money. All of that's lie. That's what people in the debt matrix say. None of that is true.
so you saying the cream brulee ain't true? Like, shouts out to Moe Factz, the brulee where they try to hold, certain agendas and mindsets.
No,
That's not true.
no, because
Ah,
it's all a choice. You either choose to believe your calculator or you don't. If you don't believe your calculator, that's your problem. That's nobody else's problem.
yeah, that's true. See, Rain and Wolf, the banks don't care about your sensitivity. The debtors don't care about your sensitivity. That's true, but they do it like on some, hey, such and such. We just calling because we had missed a payment from you, and just give us a call back so we can negotiate some type of agreement on your transaction, on your current payment, your balance. Even though you're screwed, but it just sounds kind of
Say
good.
that
Like,
if they're discussing to you about payments, you're already a slave. So they're going to do the best way they can to get their money. They're going to be nice to you, so you give them their money back. Of course, they got to be nice to you. You mentioned payments. That means they loaned you something to do something, and they want their money back. So of course they're not going to be rude to you. You're gonna be like, hey, because a slave will drive. Oh, they were rude to me. I ain't paying you nothing, and all this other stuff. So you got to be nice. That's called business. You can't be rude to your customers. Like people that are SMD family, I'm not rude to the SMD family. I mean, they trust me.
nah, you're not rude. You're just stern though. Let's just say that you might just come
No,
off
it
as
sounds like that. I'm not. I'm just saying 1+1 = 2.
I know you're a great man, LG. I know you're a great mentor. You're a great man. You know what I'm saying? You don't mean no harm because I know you. But
Mhm.
from the outside in, people might think you a dick by the way you just.
Those are slaves. I don't care what they think. It's like if say like this, I was out in public and somebody knew who I was, and they said, "LJ, you're a dick." I say, "Do you have student loans?" Yeah, that's why you think I'm a dick. You're a slave.
I'm glad. You know
I
what?
don't care if a slave calls me ugly, dumb, dickhead, whatever.
What about a coon or like a house slave or
Well, that's
like
different. That's racist. That's racism. That has
yeah,
nothing to
yeah.
do with math. Yeah, that's racism. That's
But you
different.
see where from a good portion of our people will come at you with
Of
that.
course, of course.
And
And
have you
I
ever been
expect that.
huh?
I expect that. And I'm like, you're thinking about the wrong slave. You think about the slave you were taught about on TV. That's the wrong slave.
It don't offend you? It don't
No,
move
no.
you?
I actually expect that.
Oh, you expect
And that's
that?
honestly, I really expected, and I expect them to give them the correct answer back.
All right, real quick. I want to say this about TyBeTrolling. And since I'm glad Moe Factz is up in here. All right, he said he just subscribed to your channel.
Appreciate
But
that.
can you please explain to them about your significant other, how y'all could easily have sexual exchange interactions, but y'all don't check each other credit background?
Well, slaves don't. When well, you got to remember, they don't see negative numbers, so they don't know that they're slaves. So slaves date other slaves, combine their debt together, and then they go deeper in debt. They don't know anything else. It doesn't matter what their career is. It doesn't matter how much money they make. It doesn't matter if they're college educated. It doesn't matter if you're in debt. You're just a college educated slave. That's it. With a good job, with a
Ooh.
six-figure earning job. That's it.
And you speaking from a previous experience, right?
Correct. I was a VMware engineer for 20 years, virtualization, making six figures. I was just a college educated VMware engineer slave. That's what I was.
Okay. All right. So
Driving a nice
shouts out.
car.
You say again?
Driving a nice car. That wasn't mine. I was making payments.
So
Nice
I'm
Lexus.
glad.
The Lexus was nice too. It was
Ooh,
nice.
was it the Lexus off of being the movie Belly? Or was
Belly's
that a
way a
Lexus?
long time ago. That's
Oh,
in
wait.
my time. You weren't even born when Belly came out. What are you talking about, man?
Hey, come on now, come on. I'm an old soul, LG. Come on.
No, it was newer than that.
It was new. That's still clean now. That's clean
You're
now.
going way back. You must have been in diapers when Belly came out. What are
I
you
wasn't
talking
even
about?
thought of. I don't know. Let me look when Belly been up. I probably wasn't even thought of, man. I don't even think I was in Belly movie. Let
Oh
me
yeah,
get
that
it.
was my time. That was my era back then.
I was 3 years old, man. But
Yeah.
movies like Baby Boy, Belly, you already know. Come on, LJ, don't
Oh
do me
yeah, I
like
love those movies. Loved them. Loved them.
that. All
Yeah.
right, so Moe Factz, what's going on with you, brother?
Not much. Nice to meet you, LJ.
Hey, nice meeting you.
Thanks for having me on, Grump. Hey, the question I had was about. First of all, I completely get your aspect of slavery because the biblical aspect of it. Because when you're in bondage to somebody, you owe somebody. You're actually in bondage until you can pay your debt off to them. So I think a lot of people get frustrated when you use the term slave, but they don't realize that at the end of the day, if you owe somebody a large sum of money and you can't pay, you're going to go to prison, and that you're basically going to be a slave to pay them off. Especially if you get it under nefarious means. So I think that's a lot of people don't understand that slave aspect. They look at it like whips and chains and those kind of things, but they don't look at it at you are all, like you were saying about the $5,000. They don't realize it, like the piece of land Grunt was talking about. You will be forced to sell that land to pay your debt. So you never can be up if you owe somebody. So I completely understand where you're coming from. The question I had was about, I don't know if you're aware or not, but now they're trying to say that math is racist and you can have more than one answer. I think this is my personal thought. I think they're trying to make more slaves because, like you said, if you can't see negative numbers, you don't understand math, you're perpetually going to be in slavery because you're going to make bad mathematical decisions. So I didn't know if you was aware of that, but I'll fall back and let you answer that question.
No, I heard about it a few times, but that's just to keep slaves confused.
Right.
1 + 1 = 2. It doesn't matter what color you are, Chinese, black. It doesn't
I
matter.
agree.
Doesn't matter
I
what
agree.
language you speak or anything. It's just to keep them thinking about things instead. Another thing to keep people from looking at the calculator and believing and trusting it, because it's not even a belief; it's a trust. Math is an exact science.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you ruin math, you ruin logic, you ruin decision making skills. So that I just wanted to bring up that point to you because I think that's where it starts at, and that's people always ask this question, and it seems like never get an answer. Like, why don't they teach kids how to balance checkbooks in school, or those kind of things? They don't realize the system wants us to be slaves. It's built for us to be slaves.
Well, they taught us all this about negative numbers in grade school. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They taught us this. I remember specifically in my grade school, I remember looking at the chalkboard, and right above the chalkboard was the number graph. 0 was in the middle, positive numbers was on the right, negative numbers was on the left. I remember looking at that every single day.
Right. No, what I'm saying is they don't, like, for young adults.
Yeah.
They don't teach them financial literacy, and that's I think that's by design.
That is by design. That's not might. That is because this whole economy would not work without slaves. It couldn't.
Because it's based off of usury.
It's based off of debt.
That's what I mean. Usury being interest. If I loan you $100, you got to pay me 105 back.
Correct.
If I constantly keep you borrowing, then I'm always going to get a piece of your money, and you're never made whole.
That's called compound interest.
Yeah, correct.
But slaves don't know there's 2 types of compound interest. There's positive compound interest and there's negative compound interest. If you have a car payment with an interest rate and you have a credit card with the interest rate, you're compounding negatively.
I don't even know why you even explain that, because we still not past the phase of they seeing negative numbers, so this is going to be a long process.
Well, that's why I can say this out loud, because they can't hear me. I know you guys think it's not real, but most of the people that will hear this broadcast or this video, they won't understand a word I'm saying because they don't know negative numbers exist.
I think they even struggle to deal with regular numbers or positive numbers, because when they go to make purchasing powers, like you'll go to 7-Eleven and buy a small bottle of ketchup. They cost you $4 instead of going to around the corner to Walmart and buying like the huge bottle of ketchup for $4. So I think people just don't, they just can't rationalize math and what things actually cost them. I like to hear your
You
thoughts
got
on
to
that.
remember, the majority of slaves will try to shun you if you pull out a calculator to add up something. Oh man, you need a calculator to add that up. You turn to him and say, "Yes, I do, slave. That's why you're making car payments. I use the calculator, and you're making car payments. That's why I'm using the calculator."
I'm done.
And I think they do that on purpose. Always use your calculator. Don't care what anybody. If you at the table and you need to add up a tip, pull out your calculator. No matter who's looking, it doesn't matter what they think. Pull out your calculator.
I'm
I don't
glad
want
you
to use my
brought
brain
that.
power. Why would I use my brain power when I could use the calculator?
I'm so glad you brought. No, seriously, I laugh at, but I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad Mo helped you get to that point because they'll look at you like, you know, like wherever environment you in, like you slow or something because you bringing up a calculator. Oh, you don't know 9 times 9 is 81? Okay, yes, I don't know that, but I want to put. I got this phone right here, this smart device, where I can save a lot of brain power to not be a slave like how you is. So I'm glad you came with that comeback.
Yeah, anybody that says that, you just don't say anything. You just go, "Oh, okay." But if they persist, you go, "Do you have student loans?" Yeah, that's why I'm using a calculator, and you don't, because you have student loans.
And I think that's it. I think this is just my personal opinion because I got into debt when I first got to college, and I was ambushed by debt. When I first got to my dorm room, the
That's on
phone would
purpose.
ring
They got
off
to get you guys young. They got to get
right.
you guys young.
The phone would ring off the hook. Either when you were walking across campus, it was some pretty girl with some form. Hey, fill this out, fill this out. And I remember filling out for a Discover card. I never forget it. Discover card. They were like, "Do you want $1,000?" I'm like, 18 years old, like hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing was when I got it, ran it all the way up. You don't realize you're going to go even to a higher interest rate once you go over the limit. And you think I just got to make this $25 payment a month, and it just keeps ballooning, keep ballooning, keep ballooning. So once I finally got out of debt the first time, I used cash for everything. The only problem with that is when you go to buy a house and make a big purchase, you don't have any credit. So I only got to get your thoughts on that, LJ.
That's what you got to remember. The only way to buy a house is cash. There is no other way to buy a house. Buy is a noun, not a plural. I mean, buy is a noun, not a verb. Buying is a verb.
Access to a mortgage. To get access to a mortgage.
If you're looking to get in debt, yeah, sure. I guess you get credit. Yeah.
But wouldn't you have to buy a house? I mean, in the process of buying, let me be clear with the words. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you have to be in a better position to be in the process of buying a house rather than renting, if that's your two choices?
Well, it counts on what is your definition of buy? Let's make sure we're straight there. What is your definition of buy?
I said buying, like you're saying, making a monthly.
You're talking about financing.
Yes, that's why I said access to a mortgage. Yeah.
Oh, so you're talking about financing. I guess I really don't know what slaves do and what they decide to do. I'm just saying what I'm saying. There's only one way to buy a house, and that's cash. But if you want to finance a house and pay more for than what the house is worth, I guess you got to go through the steps that the bank tell you got to go through.
No, I was asking, like, if you're starting out and you have a choice of renting or purchasing a home, getting a mortgage, and you say it'd be the same price as your rent, wouldn't getting the mortgage be the better? I'm asking. I know.
I see what you're asking, and this is what you're not hearing. Okay, and I know what you're asking. If you don't have the money to buy a house, you don't have no choice but to rent. Stop thinking. Most people think they have a choice. If you don't got the money to buy a house, you have no choice but to rent. There is no other way to buy a house. You see what I'm saying?
No, I'm asking what's the better choice of the two.
I'm saying what I'm saying to you, there is no choice. You don't have one. If you don't have the money to buy a house, you have no choice but to rent. Stop believing you have a choice. That's the problem right there. You believe you can buy a house with no money.
Well, they make it that illusion though. That's illusion.
That's business. Yeah, that's business. Yeah.
So wouldn't you rather just say you got an apartment you can rent? I'm kind of asking because there's a lot of people out here in this position, and what we're taught is you don't want to throw your money away on rent. I'm just saying. I mean, it might be slave minded where you want to say I'm a conscious slave. I understand that because I have a mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I don't have outside of that. I don't have any other debt. You see what I'm saying? But I said I wanted to purchase a home that I wanted to purchase, and to have it have access to it. Say it like that.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. You got your calculator on you?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Open up your calculator. Put in your mortgage payment.
Right.
Minus your mortgage balance, your total what you have left owed on the house, and hit enter. And don't tell me what it is, okay?
Right. It's still a negative.
Okay.
I
Does
get
the calculator say you a homeowner?
No.
Then why do you believe you are?
No, I have the potential to own this home.
No,
I'm saying.
Have you ever called yourself a homeowner? Have you told anybody?
No, I have a mortgage. I don't have a home. I have a mortgage. I'm a conscious slave. I'm just saying.
Okay, good.
I'm asking.
Let me put it a different way. Okay.
Yeah.
I rent. And let's say my rent is the same as your mortgage, okay? The same exact thing. The difference between me and you, I have no debt and I pay a monthly rent. You have a mortgage and you're $300,000 in debt. So me renting is better than you.
But what about equity?
Okay, look at the calculator again. That's your equity.
No, I'm saying because of course, if I leave this house, I will sell it to someone else and I will get the difference. Whatever I put into it.
It's not your house, so it doesn't really matter. I'm saying to you, I want you to see something. Look at the calculator. That's how much equity you have in your house right there. Right there on the calculator. Don't even tell me. That's your equity.
No, your equity is what you paid into it.
No, your equity is on the calculator.
I don't know. That's my balance.
Right. So this is my point. Unconscious slaves can't see negative numbers. I'm showing you on the calculator, yet you still don't believe it.
No, because I'm not. Like I said, I'm asking you a question because
and I'm
if I pay $300,000 for a home and I pay $50,000 into it, when I get ready to sell it and I can sell it for $300,000, I would get the $50,000 back to myself, right? Whereas if I pay $50,000 into rent and I leave that apartment, there's nothing I gain from it. So that's what I'm asking. As far as
I know what you're asking, but
you're
not hearing me say you didn't have $300,000 to buy the house. So how you gonna get it?
Of course I did. Of course I didn't. That's what I said. I have access to a mortgage.
Yeah. LJ, I think
Moe Factz. Let me finish this. So let's walk through it, okay? You don't have the money to buy the house in the first place. But you believe if you get a mortgage and sell it, you think you're going to get money back for putting no money in. Is that
whatever I paid into it from the time I was in the house, I would get that back.
You didn't have any money to pay into it. What do you mean?
What do you mean? Okay, like I said, if I take, I'm gonna give an example again. I buy a house for $300,000.
You did okay. First of all, you gotta stop saying buy. Stop saying buy.
I get a mortgage for $300,000. Okay, I get a mortgage or a debt for $300,000, right?
Okay.
When I get ready, I pay $50,000 either into rent. This is how I rent for 4, 5, 10 years, however long I rent, or either I pay into that mortgage. When I get ready to sell that home say it doesn't go up in any value, it stays the same, exactly the same, $300,000. Whatever I pay in that home, when I get the difference back to me?
No.
Dang.
Because I guarantee you sound like you have an FHA mortgage.
No, I got conventional. So I mean, that's the other thing.
How much did you put down?
It's not about me though. I'm asking between the two choices. When you walk away from that apartment, you get nothing for for the time or money you put into it.
What I'm trying to tell you, and you're not really hearing me, you don't have a choice. That's the problem. You think, listen to what I'm saying, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just trying to tell you something mathematically. If you don't have the money to buy the house, you don't have a choice but to rent. Like right now, the reason why I don't have a house, because I don't have the money to buy one. That's why I'm renting. And I'm not throwing away money on rent. This is the difference with people. People don't know. People with mortgages, you're renting from the bank. The bank is your landlord. You don't really, people with mortgages don't look at it that way, but it's irrelevant.
No, I do look at it that way. But I'm just saying when the difference between renting and buying is when you walk away from the rent, you get nothing. When you get, say, I want to move from this renting situation with the mortgage, whatever I paid into the house, and then I said I didn't even factor in the property appreciating in value. I'm just saying if it stayed the same, you're gonna get whatever you got back, right? I mean, you got to account for that in some way. That the equity you paid into the house. I mean, that money doesn't disappear.
You're right, Mo. But I think that LJ, you see how Mo is like. I think Mo is being like a representation for the new generation when it comes from renting.
Most definitely is.
or yeah, because Moe Factz, he understand where you coming from, but he using the language from the people who wants to
That's
know the
called slave
information.
splaining.
But he's a representative for it. Huh?
Actually, it's not even the new school. This is how we were taught to build wealth. So I'm just saying that.
Whoa.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, LJ would know. You buy a house, you saying you pay into it until you pay it off. I think a lot of times people bite off more house than they can chew, than they ever can get paid off. So I think that's the problem, really. But I mean, like I said, this is what we're taught. The educated, financially educated people is to buy it rather than rent. And I just want to add that. Ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I said. I mean, just like I said, I know I'm a conscious slave. To be honest with you, because I mean, then you get into taxes and all that other stuff. You ever really own the property in the first place? I mean, so I get that point of it, but yeah. But like I said, I think a lot of people struggle is they're poor at math because we throw our money away at that. I mean, if you ask a person, do you spend $150 on coffee a month? They would say no. But they go buy a $5 cup of coffee every day. You see what I'm saying? They don't put two and two together. So I think LG is spot on with not even the negative numbers. People just struggle with numbers, period, and see where their money's going to.
Exactly. That's what I think. And for the way that LJ put it in front of our face, like how we was taught in grade, like in school coming up, it's not supposed to be mind blowing, but it kind of is in a way because we just got to take the math that we learned from school and do it for everything we do with the spending. Because you're right. Like you spend $150 on Starbucks a month and we don't know that. We like, we don't do it. But we actually buy $5 Starbucks every single day. So is that the programming right there with the Matrix, LJ?
Yeah, they got slaves believing it has something to do with coffee or something they make up. They just be making up shit, and people just believe, hey, cut down on your coffee and stuff like that. It has nothing. It's just they just keep you guys confused that it has And I understand. Trust me, when you have the ability to see negative numbers, I know why Moe is asking me the question he's asking me, because that's the program that they run in the debt matrix. Oh, the rent's the same as the mortgage. One has absolutely nothing to do with the other. It's like, what I really want to say is, why are you comparing those two? They have nothing to do with each other. Nothing.
I get what you're saying.
That's the program.
That's the program. It was the program where it was like rent or mortgage. And to be honest, it was to the point where they've been kind of shitting on people who rent. You know what I'm saying? It's like you rent.
No, those are slaves that do that. When you hear somebody put somebody down for paying rent, that person, anybody you hear saying that, you turn to them and say, do you have a mortgage? If they say yes, you say, that's why you're saying that, because you have a mortgage. Or they don't know they're renting from the bank. The
loan
bank is their landlord. That's the bank's house. That's not their house. That's the bank's house.
And you blew my mind with this, LJ, because you did a video on, remember those two couples that had that, they had said they own an RV.
Yeah.
And it was like, we own it. And then out of nowhere, they're like, we lost our RV. How can you lose something that you own?
You can't.
Yeah, that was deep right there.
You can't lose anything you own. So whenever you hear people say, I lost my house, I lost my car. No, the bank just came and got their stuff. That's what you mean to say. You didn't pay them for their stuff and they came and got it.
And that's pretty much from that video. That was, I think, how long ago was that, LG? That was like a year.
About 8 months, maybe.
That's when I was working that construction job. I was like listening to you while doing some labor, like digging, planting trees, cutting grass and all that. I've been hearing you through the weed eater and all that when you had did that one.
And like I said, and again, I have the ability to see negative numbers. Millions of people can't see negative numbers. That's obvious.
Okay. And let me go back to the chat. People said, "Oh, he's glitching." They said something about, and they said, "Oh yeah, this one I want to bring out right here." He said, "Francie Warner, why he got to use the slave word though? So brutal." What do you guys say about that?
Only slaves are offended by the word slave. If you call me a slave, I won't be offended about it. I'll look around and say, "Who are you talking to?" I don't know who you're talking to.
All right, so check this out. Y'all hear what LJ said, but when I've been listening to him, and he was like, "You are a slave." My response was, "Why is he calling me a slave?" And LJ said, "See that right there?" He said, "That's right there." He stopped it, and I was like, "Oh." For me, even saying that, I
don't think people really understand that they are slaves, because I mean, you have to look at it this way. And like I said, a lot of stuff me and LJ agree on, and because the biblical sense, but also if somebody would say today, you know what, like kind of like in the stock market when these people were getting these betting on margins, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's the same way. It was like if somebody came to you today, say, all right, it's time to collect on all the debt you owe. You can't pay it. And if it came push to shove, they would put you in shackles and you had to go work off that debt and you would literally be a slave. So I think it's a very powerful term that you use, LJ, and a very accurate term, because when you look at it in that sense, when you're actually free and you don't owe anybody, you actually do, you're saying you have all the rights of a free man. So I think that's a very appropriate term.
People believe, they always say, ALJ, why you say slave? You know what I say to them? I didn't come up with it. I found it in the Bible, 22:7, Proverbs 22:7. It says it right there. The borrower is slave to the lender. That's why I read it. I didn't come up with it. And that passage that I'm telling you guys, that was there before I was born. I didn't even know that existed. And then I was born, and then I started reading, and I said, wow, the Bible says slave. So that's where I got it. Nobody can argue with that. As soon as you tell them and point it out in the Bible, they shut up.
Hey, check out. I don't know if he being rhetorical or I don't even know what that word is. Sarcastic.
No, he's an SMD family member.
So okay, he's being sarcastic. I figured.
Yeah, LJ, you're still written. He's being sarcastic. Yeah.
He said you're still written, so that makes you a slave.
Right, because that's what slaves say. They always say, "Well, LJ, you're renting," because this is what they want to know. If I'm renting, and how much money do I have in the bank? Well, I tell slaves is this: all you need to know is I got $1 in the bank. That's all you need to know. That's more than you. Anybody that's out there wondering right now, well, are you rich? How much money are you in the bank? I'm telling you right now, my net worth is $1. That's more than you.
And it said, hold on, Grump, ask him about if you pay taxes for the owned home. Do you really own it?
That's another thing that slaves say. Then this is what I always say too. If that's true, because they always say that, well, you never really own a home because of taxes. If that's the case, why are millions of people financing something that they're never going to own if they know that? Why are they doing that? That makes absolutely no sense. Why are you financing it then? Because it's not true. It's not true. I mean, yeah, if you don't pay your taxes, can they take your home? Yes. But what they're saying is you're comparing a monthly mortgage to yearly taxes. There is no comparison to that. No comparison.
That's like a desperate approach, kind of. Don't you
Correct.
think, of reaching?
That's what it is. And I get it. Trust me. I get it. I get why slaves do that. I get it. They do weird things, but that's okay. They can, as long as they do what they're supposed to do, keep financing phones and cars and laptops and furniture and finance and vacation, please continue to do that because I stay free by them doing that.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is any debt acceptable? Personal debt acceptable? Like say you're trying to make something that you have to, so big that you don't have the cash right off hand, but it's worth the owning the asset once it's paid off. Is any debt acceptable?
Personally, no. No
Okay.
debt. Personally, no. I'm okay with business debt. I'm talking about only about personal debt.
Yeah, and I wanted to let that be known before you any what's that brother name off our mill thing? Big Trucker or something?
Right.
That's the name. Before y'all come with that big trucker talk about I buy a damn Hellcat and I hold it for 4 months and I put it on Facebook and I sell it and I ain't really had to use my money. Before y'all do that, that's business. We talk about personal
business.
So real quick, backpedaling, can we go to this relationship stats? Can we go to like how people can have sexual interactions upon each other, but they won't see each other's credit report, or they'll have that? Like, can you explain the programming behind that?
Well, they don't know that when you get out of what it basically is this: when you're in debt, you don't own yourself. Okay, you don't know that, right? And once you're out of debt, you'll do what it takes to get out of debt and to make the sacrifices. Now, when you go out in the dating world, you won't date slaves. No matter what they look like, you come across a beautiful woman. She's got everything, the job, the body. She's great in bed. She's good to you, but you find out she has $100,000 in student loan debt and she's not thinking about ever paying it off. That's a waste of time. So you just tell them, sorry, we can't date. Why? You're a slave. I don't date slaves.
All right. You sure about that, partner? All right. So do you want to take it that way, LJ?
Take it what way?
All right, boom.
Did
So
I
you
go
see
a
this right
certain way?
here?
Where'd I go?
Do you see this woman right here, right?
Okay.
I guess she's like the standard beauty for IG.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me a girl who looked like this, where my mouse is at, and she got what you just explained from the background, no matter how good she look and all that, you mean to tell me that, you know, you won't, you get what I'm saying?
No, I don't. What?
Let's say she got like, you know, college, she got college debt and she got 2 leased cars and everything, but she looked like that, I guess. So you pretty much saying that you won't like, or for a younger brother or something.
You mean have sex with her?
Yes.
I wouldn't trust a thin piece of thin rubber to protect because if I accidentally get her pregnant, I'm stuck with a slave for the next 18 to 20 years. I wouldn't chance that.
Yeah, so you wouldn't okay, so that's why I'm saying the reason why I have brought this up, I brought Ari up.
I would say once you're free, you would always use protection. I'm not saying not because you're young, but her looks have nothing to do with that. That has nothing to do with anything.
I think we get mesmerized by that, and it's like,
as a young man, I get it. I was like that. I knew what it was like to be in my 20s and early 30s, stuck on the wrong thing. But had I known this information when I was that age, none of that would have ever happened. Things would have been totally different.
You live and you learn, though. So that's your advice that you want to give to people in the new generation.
Yeah, because you can't go by looks. That has nothing to do with anything. You get with a person, the first thing they're going to do is try to impress you with stuff, right? And I call it the language of zero. You got to remember, slaves that don't see negative numbers, they have no idea debt-free exists. So they don't know what they're saying, right? So if they pull up on you in a nice car, the latest iPhone, jewelry, you're going to say, they're going to talk debt. And then you're going to say, wow, this is a nice car. I know this sets you back. You say stuff like this. I know this sets you back a pretty penny per month. You just make up something, right? As soon as they mention a payment, that's it. It's over. It's done. You making car payments? Yeah, that's it. We're not going anywhere.
So what about the phone? Let's say if they got a phone and they be like, you be like, how much it costs? They be like, I don't know, pay like $50 a month. That's automatically giving it off?
Right, because they're making payments on a cell phone. I'm not dating anybody making payments on a cell phone.
I have another question. So LJ brought up education. Is that something we should finance?
Is that something you should finance? Well, tell me what do you mean by when you say
like
that?
Student loans. Like, you know, if you're going to go to school for 4 years, you don't have the money to pay for it in cash. Is that something? Cause I'm a parent and I have a teenage child. I have my own beliefs on education, but I just want to know what you think about it. And then maybe I'll share. I'll share mine first and tell me if it's correct. Or
I'm not against student loan debt. This is what I mean. If you go to college for 4 years and you get student loan debt, give yourself a maximum of 4 years to pay it back.
Well, if you
anything past 4 years, you're a slave.
Well, the student loan debt older than your kids, though.
Yeah. Oh, those are slaves. Only slaves carry student loan debt older than their children.
Hey, can you
what about student loan debt for your children?
What does that mean?
Should parents take the responsibility, or should it be the responsibility of the children?
Well, that's TV that programs you saying you should be.
I'm asking. I'm asking.
I'm saying I'm giving you the answer.
Okay.
If you don't have the money for college, you just don't have the money. There's nothing you can do about that. What can you do if you didn't save the money for college for your child and they reach college age? What are you gonna do about it?
Damn.
To me personally, I think you should send your kids. I always tell my kids, if you didn't do well enough in school to get some kind of partial scholarship or full scholarship, then you deserve to go to community college for your first 2 years to see if you take school seriously or not. That's my opinion on the situation.
I mean, you're making it sound like community college is bad. Like that's
not bad. No. Yeah, no, I'm not saying bad. I'm just saying like a lot of people want to send their average kids off to 4-year universities and pay that four full years. I'm saying my kids didn't take it seriously in their high school years, then they don't deserve that privilege to go off to a large 4-year university. In those first 2 years, you need to, maybe go to a community college where it's a lot cheaper, lot economical, and then it opens doors to all the state universities wherever in the state you're in.
Yeah, I mean that's the first thing I would do. If they're not going to take it serious, why would you waste your money?
Right. But I'm saying a lot of parents feel pressure. I'm just talking to friends or whatever. They feel like you said, slave mindset.
That's all the program.
Real, yeah.
I wouldn't be pressured. I would be like, sorry, kid, I ain't got no money for you to go to college.
Yep. And he'd be like, why did you have me then?
Well, I wouldn't answer that question.
I think you probably all right. I'm trying for real. These kids reckless. Hey, some of these kids are reckless. That's why I'm hitting you with what they'll say. You know, well, I'm not saying your child will say it, but you know.
Well, if they keep on the path that they're going, they're going to be part of the system, a slave to the system. That's what they're going to be. And you just got to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, once again, the system wants them to be slaves.
Exactly.
That's why they let the kids. That's why they let the kids stay on your insurance to 27. It's what they call arrested development. All of this, like I said, LJ spot on. All of this is a systemic approach to create more slaves. Like when we
learn this information, if you learn this information while you're, if you understand what I'm talking about right now, and you understand what I'm teaching, you will naturally carry this over to your children, right? And so when it's college age time, you guys will already had that plan years ago. Okay, it just doesn't pop up at 18. It starts when they're young. Right. And then if you teach them, say, stay out of debt. This is the way. We don't finance cars and clothes. We don't do any of that. By the time they're college age, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll have the money for college. Everything will be there. Everything will be there. Everything. You'll have the money to do whatever you need to do. But as long as you're in debt, you won't have the money to send your kid off to college. That's why they came up with Parent Plus loans for kids, for parents that refuse to accept that they didn't have the money. So not only will the parent have their own student debt, they'll get into deeper debt with Parent Plus loans and be buried until they're dead. Hey, honey, daughter, will you pay me back? Will you make the payments on the student loans when you get out of college? Sure, daddy. And then when they don't, now the relationship is ruined because the kid's not making the student loan payments.
All this right here could have just, but it just, we've been born into, this is America. We've been born into, other countries, they don't have this thing called credit, So right. I think that's why where business credit gets mixed with personal credit in America, is so quick for you to be a slave. That's why they give out this credit. They give about, they be like, oh yeah, you can have this, you can have that. And I think that's part of the program for many people who are coming in America, and that's what keeps this whole machine going. That's just my opinion over it. And they don't trust math.
And I love it. I love the economy. I love it.
Yeah. I'm not saying. I'm just saying like they just don't trust math.
It's all voluntarily. You choose the side you want to be on. It. You want to be a slave, or you want to be wealthy. I choose to be wealthy.
But yeah, that got real deep, about that college thing and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like that went like left, not left. It just went deep. Like,
but it's real though, because colleges. I mean, you could talk to a lot of financially or appearing financially responsible people, but they go full for their children and sign their. I mean, I've worked with people that they extended their retirement out to pay for student loan debt for their kids. Worked themselves. I mean, one guy worked himself to literally to death. He was so old. It's like, why don't you go see? But he wanted to send his daughter through law school. So these are real things. Like I said, and I'm playing.
Damn,
a bit of the devil's advocate, LJ, because I'll be honest with you.
No, please do. That's important. Please do.
Right, because what I'm doing is, for me personally, I rented for 10 years. I have 4 children. We stayed in a 3-bedroom townhouse, like the cheapest one we could find. That way I could get completely out of debt, but I did buy. I think I'll be careful. I did participate in getting a mortgage. The reason why I got the mortgage though is because I'm staying somewhere I can see myself here for the rest of my life. So that's the decision I made. It was a conscious decision to say, you know what, this is a great opportunity, great piece of land. I'm
not against mortgages. Yeah. What year do you plan on having paid in full?
I'm trying to get it paid off in 15 years. That's my goal.
What year?
I'm 40 years old. I'll be 55 when I'm done. I want to be able to retire when I'm 60. So I mean, that's my goal. I'm making extra payments, everything. So, like I said, it's a conscious effort. It was a conscious decision to take the mortgage. because it's somewhere I want to be. It's not like it's a necessity, right? And like I said, everything else I'm debt free on. So
You got a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage?
I got a 30, but I'm paying like it's 15.
Why didn't you get a 15-year mortgage then?
Because for flexibility purposes, just in case something happens, I won't be on the hook for that large payment.
No, the bank told you that. That's what the bank.
No. That was my own decision because I might be making transition in careers, and like the larger payment might be something that maybe
How long you been in this house?
A year.
Oh, you just bought it. Got it.
Yes.
You bought it in 2020?
Yes.
Hmm.
I would say this. I bought it right before the market took off because I saw then. That's what I'm saying. I saw then if I don't move now, because if I saw where we were headed now, especially with these.
Where we headed?
Where you got you have all these large companies getting this interest-free money coming in, driving up the real estate market because they can spend money and they don't have any interest on their money. It's several large. I mean, like, if you're trying to buy a house right now, I feel sorry for you because what the things that you have to go through and the offers, you're not beating these cash offers because these large companies just have blank checks. And they're ruining the real estate market. But it's capitalism. I mean, I got to live with it. But at the same time, it's just, they're not even taking FHA loans. I mean, I had a conventional, but they're not even if you have FHA, like it's like a second class citizen in this current market.
FHA mortgage are for second class slaves.
Right.
Yeah.
But I saw this coming and I was like, if I'm going to do something, I have to do it now. And also with the potential of inflation. So, I mean, like I said, I'm an educated slave. I'm an informed slave, but it's slave nonetheless by your definition. So,
I'm not against mortgages, but I'm just telling you, it don't take 15 years to pay off a mortgage. That's a trick.
Okay. No, that's my goal. It's like that's my goal. That's my goal to have it paid off by then. Because like I'll ask this question because this is, like I said, I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm 40 years old.
I appreciate it.
I think I made most of the right decisions in life. I'm saying I'm married to my wife. I have all my kids with my wife. I'm saying none of those decisions I'm educated. I have a good job. But my question, I guess, is if you're trying to transition from working to being an entrepreneur, what is the relationship between your personal credit and your business credit?
Well, put it this way: if you don't, it's different because if you come to the bank with $300,000 in mortgage debt, they're going to treat you accordingly. You're going to treat you the same way in business because you're going to come over. Obviously, you're going to need also a loan to start a business, whatever, right? So now you at the same time you thinking you're a homeowner and a business owner, you're neither. Make sure you understand that that's clear. You're not a homeowner. And if you get a business loan, you're not a business owner because you own none of them.
Right. But the problem with a job is, they cap what you can make. So, I mean, if I want to make more money, wouldn't be a business. Yeah.
I always, in order to be successful, you're going to have to work for yourself. You have to create something, right? That is true. But before you can own anything, you must own yourself. You can't own anything else. You can't own anything outside yourself before owning yourself. I guess
my question is, because I'm asking this question completely out of ignorance. What is the relationship? Say you have great personal credit, because I'm gonna tell you the trick I did with my personal credit. Then you can say this or not.
You gonna tell me a trick? Let me see.
No, I said I got one credit card. I bought my lunch every day at work, and I paid it off in full every month.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Just to get that credit. The credit. And it made and I get another credit card and I buy my gas with it and I pay it off at the end of the month. So I'm paying stuff I would normally just send straight cash to the company to. I ran it through the credit cards. I got the 1 or 2% back savings on it.
That's what I do. I do that.
Yeah. Then the other thing, what it did was it made my credit score just skyrocket. Right. So now I have great credit. Just on paper, credit. Well, I'm asking, how does that translate over to business credit? Because I don't know, and that's what I'm asking.
They're going to look at your personal credit and say, "Wow, he pays us back our money on time. He's doing a good job with paying us back our money. We'll come over here and let you get into more debt. They're gonna give you more debt, of course."
Okay. I mean,
Because they said you're responsible with their money personally. Now they pretty sure that you're going to be responsible with their stuff business wise too.
But is there any other way to get into business without lending? I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I didn't get involved with PPP loans.
I'm not against business debt. That's different because it's tax different.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is this: what you're going to do is carry your same personal habits over to business because you know nothing else, right? You're going to come over there doing the same thing. Like right now, you went into $300,000-$400,000 worth of debt right now. Okay, you're far from being a homeowner, and so if you haven't paid, you're not going to pay off your home anytime soon. They know you're not going to pay off your business anytime soon. They're going to pretty much own you for the next 20 years, business and personally.
I can see that, but if I'm at my job, they're gonna own me for another 20 years. So I mean, I guess it's like, what kind of slave owning? Yeah,
your job's gonna know if you have a mortgage. Your job knows your boss knows you're not going anywhere anytime soon.
That is very true.
Right? They know you're not going anywhere. All right, and so that your whole life is going to be an illusion if you're ready for that. If you're ready to accept that, yeah.
No, I guess is there a way to freedom? I mean, did you use
pay your house off
before I get into business?
No, I still like this. Okay, let's go for this part. What are you thinking about doing for business? Let's go there. What are you thinking about doing for business?
What am I thinking about doing for business? I'm looking into buying several bread and snack distribution routes.
Why? You love that? You love that kind of work, or what?
No, actually, it's passive income because by the time you hire people and saying that you run your routes for you, frees up time.
I'm asking, why are you choosing that business?
I guess it's the easiest entry into business right now for me.
What do you mean you guess? I mean, where are you hearing this information from? Who's telling you this?
From people that's in the industry.
You gotta find out that those are slaves telling you information.
No, they're successful. No, they're successful at it. They're successful at it.
No, you don't know that. You only know by what you see. Right. You don't know if they're successful. Why? How do you know they're successful? Let's go there. How do you know they're successful?
I mean, the numbers. I mean, they're trusted friends and they tell me the numbers. So, I mean,
they show you their financial records? If
I wanted to see them, they would.
No, I'm asking you, did you see them with your own eyes?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, then you don't know.
Okay.
So LJ, real quick, is this like, put it this way real quick. You go in and you try to find an accountant and you ask that accountant, do they own that certification that they have on the wall? And they be like, yeah, pretty much saying, do they got student loan debt? And if they be like, yeah, then you say turn around and leave. Can you explain that, LJ?
Right. First of all, accountants, they go to college for school, right? They go to school, they go to college for accounting, and math is a requirement to become an accountant, right? If I walk into a professional accountant's office, the first question I'm gonna ask, do you have student loans? If they tell me yes, I'm gonna leave their office because that means their student loans would be older than their business. If they haven't balanced the books of themselves, why would I trust them with my money? I wouldn't do that.
And that piggybacks to what Moe Factz. If Moe Factz peers have student loan debt and all that, that's why I wanted to use that as an example, Mo.
Yeah.
So like I said, I guess I can say I'm asking for, what would you tell a person, not me personally, that's trying to get? I mean, because you have your slaves really the two masters, right? Your job and then your debt.
Because your job is a tool. Your job is not. Your job only becomes your master because you're in debt. If you're not in debt and you have a job, that's a tool. Your job is a tool.
The reason why I said a debt, I mean, I call it a slave, is because your earnings are capped at a job, right? I mean, you're only going to make X amount of dollars. So if you have the same amount of potential to earn more money for yourself, it really, I look at it like, as a debt because you're losing money. That's just my perspective on it. But
no, you're right. You're right thinking about creating your own business. But the reason why I asked you, why were you doing it? It sounds like you're doing it because you heard it's money in it. And that's
I'm trying to work for myself because they can come and give you a pink slip any day. Right. I mean, a job is an illusion as well. I think people don't realize it's an illusion. They think their job is always going to be there. But I don't, for me being, like I said, in the position I am, at 40 years old, it's like I have to do it now or never. And it's like if I ever want to be actually free, that my money is coming straight into my pockets, from consumers or people I'm doing business transaction with. That's the only way to free them right now. Like I got a middleman that's breaking me off a piece, right?
Right.
It's like sharecropping pretty much. I mean, it's not direct slavery, but it's sharecropping in a way. So, yeah, I'm just saying, like, what does that transition look like? I mean, as far as debt is concerned, I mean, like you said,
what would you love to be doing that wouldn't feel like work? What is your favorite thing to do?
I mean, that's my other thing. I mean, I make a decent amount of money podcasting, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Moe Factz
but at the same time, I don't want to lean only on podcasting. So I'm looking for some
that's why I'm asking you. What would you do? What would you love? What would you love to do without? And you would do it even if you didn't make money from it.
Podcasting. Podcasting 100%.
And that's what you need to turn into a business.
No, I am, but I'm saying these businesses I'm getting to are passive income where it doesn't cost me my time, but you're saying I can actually have a foundation of money outside of podcasting. I mean, so I have a plan.
That's what I'm saying. Turn the thought you have about this side, whatever you're talking about, right? You do that with your podcasting.
I already do that now. Like I said, I mean, my podcasting is my second full-time job.
Then make it grow, make it bigger.
Yeah.
Don't worry about other things right now. Just concentrate on one thing right now to focus on there.
And to be honest with you, I mean, since we're going to be 100% candid, we're seeing how these things are going with these companies and these mandates and things like that. And that's something else I had to take into account too. It's like I said, I'm looking for passive opportunity income to supplement the podcasting. That way, you know what I'm saying, I don't have to depend 100% on the you got to remember from the
words that are being used: entrepreneur, passive income. You got to remember who's saying that to you, because slaves don't know what those definitions of those.
No, these are my definitions.
Okay.
Yeah, these are my. I mean, what I'm saying about passive income, it doesn't cost me my time to make that money. You know what I'm saying? I don't physically have to be there to make that money. Whereas podcasting is like it's actually a job because it takes my time and my physical presence to do it. So that's, like I said, I mean, I'm just having this conversation because I think there's a lot of young brothers in this transition. I think this whole pandemic has made people reevaluate their lives, reevaluate what's real and what's not. And I don't see myself working for somebody else for another 20 years. I can't do that. I mean, like, I wouldn't be happy with my life if I did that.
Well, you're thinking the right way, but you're still in the matrix because you're saying.
Of course, I mean, like I said, I'm 100% slave, born and bred. I mean, because
you're not. If your mortgage is your only debt, you're far from being a 100% slave.
What I mean by that is I was bred to be a slave.
Right. Me too.
Get a job, go to school, get a job, buy a house, buy 2 cars. You know what I'm saying? You know,
that's important.
Conspicuous consumption, that kind of stuff, right?
All of that is important. All of that's important.
And I was mocked for a long time. Like, you have a nice job. Why are you living in this rundown townhouse? That kind of thing, right? It's like, no, I'm getting out of debt. That's why.
Right. Yeah. But once you're out of debt too, you will stop explaining yourself to slaves. I don't really explain myself to slaves.
You see how LG got like a short span when it comes to explaining to
Right. No, those are great questions, Moe Factz. I promise you, they're great questions. And the way you got to remember, once you're able to see negative numbers, the type of question that you ask me is telling me everything I need to know about you and finances.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I hope that's a good thing. I appreciate LJ. Like, you're doing God's work because, like I said, a lot of people are slaves and don't even know it.
Right.
And at least be a conscious slave. At least be a conscious slave. You're gonna be one.
Correct.
So you hear that, casino? LJ is like 1 for 25. You know what I'm saying? He got Moe Factz, you know what I'm saying? Felt good, you know what I'm saying? It was like an ultimatum. Everybody had an agreement. But the other 25 people think that you be like, you're a slave, this and that, da. But casino, you got to realize that some people don't want to listen. That's why it may appear like that. You get what I'm saying? He said you sound like you a hater, but
Yeah, I don't listen to slaves. You know me. I don't really care about what slaves say or think or whatever. I really don't even see it unless you bring it up on the screen. I don't really pay attention to slaves. Slaves like to comment. They like to type. They like to text and stuff like that. That's just what they do. I mean, we need slaves. Believe that. We need them to come in and say slave-splaining things. That's important. That's very important.
He kills you.
Slaves are number one. Believe that. In my book, slaves are number one.
You remind me of SpongeBob, where he'd be like, slaves, something number one. Every time you keep saying that, it's like that SpongeBob scene pop in my head where he had that little hat and the little drinking little things. He had the number one little thing.
Slaves are number one. They're number one.
Oh man,
I know why they say those things. I know why slaves say those types of things. I get it. I totally get it. Totally get it.
But again, Casino, you saying that he sounds arrogant or sounds like a hater. These are feelings at the end of the day.
Those are feelings, yeah. They're just emotional. See how slaves get emotional? I get it. I totally get why they get emotional. I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. I didn't invent it though. They're not what it is. This is what it is, young bro. They're not mad at me. They're mad at the calculator. That's what they're mad at. I didn't invent math. I didn't invent it.
Yeah, see, that's the point right there. It's like it said he may be arrogant, but he's certainly not ignorant. Okay, yeah, that is true. That's facts. I mean, because you a walking testimony of your own self about where you at and the success and everything. Can you please before we go ahead and close it up soon, go into like the job process? Oh, I got a question. Have you you took the shot? You got vaccinated?
No.
And may I ask why you didn't get vaccinated?
Because I'm not.
Because you're not. You know where this is going at, right? That's why I'm laughing so hard.
I do. But when out in public, you know what I'm gonna say? Yep, I sure do. I got how many are there now? 3? I got all 3. I just keep counting. How many are they up to now? 3? I got all 3.
I can't stand this dude. So
Delta Squadron variant. Oh, okay, yeah, I got that one too. Yeah. Delta Squadron. Yeah, I got that one. Sure did. Yeah, I got that one.
I feel you on that with LJ because like I can't do it either. And like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people are gonna be put to their convictions because it's like, are you willing to change your whole lifestyle? Because I'm at this point. I set my wife down. I was like, look, if it get to the mandate, I can't do it. I can't do. And that's when you know how free you are. Because when you start to look at your bills and you say, I don't want to do this, but your bills tell you you have to do this, that's when you realize you're a slave. That means when you don't have that choice.
Because a lot of people, if you're at a job you hate, that's because of your own self. You're there.
No, I'm saying if you had a job you love,
right, that's different.
But they say you have to participate in the mandate, right?
Right.
And you're against it. You don't want to do it.
Do you say I quit?
No, just saying. But a lot of people are gonna look at them slave papers, them bills.
Oh, they say I can't. They have to.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's when the rubber meets the road if you're a slave or not. Correct. Because if you can say, you know what, you can say, hey, I like me, the fact that I'm not in debt, but in one place. I said I could scrape that money together every month. That's why I was saying about the 30 year, the 15 year. It gives me that flexibility to say, if I got to walk away, my life don't really change. You know what I'm saying? I could cover what I need to cover. Right. But a lot of people are going to be made to take that because of their financial situations, even if they don't want it.
And they'll reward you. They'll be like, take this. It's mandatory. You lose your job. Or they'll be like, win $500, do this and that. They got all types of ways,
Well, that's why scammers are running rampant now because they know people are scared. So they come up with all these scams, get rich quick scheme because slaves don't know what to do. So they're just panicking. I got to hurry up and buy a house. I gotta get this quick money, get MLM, do whatever. They just come up with all kind of stuff just to get them on the hook and take their money. That's it.
Dang. Yeah, I'm glad. Can you just explain about, because remember, it was like 8 months ago, I was listening to you, I was doing that labor construction work, right? I didn't like my job, but I knew what I had to do to get to it. And now I upgraded to a job where it's like more computerish. I'm still not, I'm still trying, own my time though. But just hearing you say that, because there'd be people like, man, I hate my job, or they don't do nothing about it. And, Rawan, 8 months ago, I remember I used to call in on your lives and I used to be, you used to hear the weed eaters and everything in the background and all that. And now that's what I'm saying. So it just takes time to go ahead and change your ways and all that.
Mm-hmm. I
But
say like this: if you get a job, make sure you get a job that's going to make you the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. That's why I chose computers. I knew if I went that route, I could make 6 figures, right? Making, working 40 hours a week, that's why I said that's my choice. I'm choosing that. And that's why I got into that.
Yes, sir. And real quick, can you please explain the illusion, the deception in the matrix form of a job about how, your time and you always on the clock and all that, even on the weekends? Can you explain the ultimatum about a job, the slave brainwash of it?
Like what people don't know, like there's 7 days in a week. Your job owns 5 of those days. But by default, I should tell you something's wrong right now. Wait a minute. There's 7 days in a week. My employer owns 5. That means I own 2. So out of 7 days, that's a problem right there. Then you think, who came up with the 40-hour work week? People that have money. People that have money came up with the 40-hour work week for slaves.
So you mean to tell me it's even scientifically and psychologically down to the T where they'd be like, okay, humans could go this amount of time within a day and this amount of days without taking a break. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. But that somebody makes those rules. You can come up. Retirement's not an age. You can retire anytime you want. That's not an age. You can, if you don't want to work that many hours, you don't have to work that many hours. You just got to stay out of debt. If you're in debt, you have to do whatever the 40-hour work week. Like when you get out of debt, you don't look at the clock anymore. The clock is a tool. It's not a need. If you're a person always looking at the time, because time owns you, the clock owns you, right? I don't care about what time it is unless I have an appointment. If I have an appointment, 8 o'clock, I'm supposed to be on Young Grump. Oh, I need the clock to know what time is 8 o'clock. I need the calendar, which is a tool. But after we get off this, I close the laptop. I don't care what time it is unless I want to watch a particular show. I don't care. I don't care what day it is. I don't care. Saturday and Sunday are not special. They're just days of the week.
Specify that more, please.
People, only slaves think Saturday and Sunday are special. They're not special. It's just Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is no different than Monday.
Or TGIF, thank God it's Friday or something.
Thank God it's Friday. When you say hump day, Wednesday, and oh God, it's Monday, you're just telling the world that you hate where you work.
Exactly. Hey,
you hate what you do. I don't care if it's Wednesday. I love it's Wednesday.
Hey, and I could tell you on the chat, he actually lived up to what he's saying, because I remember when I tried to first get you on the show, and I was like, okay, this weekend, all that, I'm a slave, I still got a job and all that. You was like, nah, young girl, it could be anytime. Just let me know a day prior. I don't care if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
I was like, this dude is really talking.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I'll sleep as long as I want, go to bed when I want, wake up when I feel like it. I don't care unless I got an appointment.
So, and that's what at the end of the day, that's the overall goal for me. I mean, everybody else's situation is different, but people chase the money to own their time, though, not just chase the money, because you could chase the money and still make all these racks, and still, like how you said from your situation, got all them racks but still be in debt. And
again, no currency in any form exists for slaves. Money doesn't exist for slaves, and even when I prove it to them, they still don't believe money exists for them. Slaves don't know paper money doesn't exist for them. They don't even know that.
Dang, see, that's you got anything to piggyback off this Moe Factz? He probably went to the bathroom.
No. I'm listening. I'm just listening. I wanted to say one more thing about, like you were saying about your time. I think that's another thing. Working from home and realizing being home more has lit the fire, the entrepreneurial fire in me as well. Mm-hmm. Because now it get like, wow, that's like, this is all the time you have. This is what you're missing. It really, like, being home with the kids and that kind of thing. That's the kind of lifestyle I wanted to be able to live. If I want to homeschool my kids, be more active in the education, those kind of things. So it depends on what you really value. But I just think on the other side of this thing, it's going to be a lot of people that look at work a lot differently. And I think the numbers are showing already that people are not filling jobs as much as they used to. Now, what they do with that is going to be, it's going to be the telltale sign. But I think people have had a taste of freedom. Even though it's pseudo freedom, they haven't had a taste of freedom.
but they don't know how to keep it. They don't know
Oh,
that debt is the only reason why they're the government is allowing them to taste the taste of freedom, but they don't know how to keep it because they're in debt. They have student loan debt, stuff like that, mortgages, all that stuff. You don't have to have the bank. The bank doesn't have to be in your life. That's not true.
exactly. That's that. You could have in-home banking. You can have your own banking set up. You could be your own bank. I learned that from Derek Grace too, the guy with the dreads, and he be training his kids with the weapons and all that. And he got this book called In-House Banking. I want to get. You're right. They make that illusion where we have to rely on the bank.
Right, and that's important. That's business.
Yeah.
I don't fault the banks for anything they do. The only difference between the slaves and the banks can see negative numbers. Slaves can't see negative numbers. That's the answer. That's the answer that slaves will never understand that answer, but they don't really get it. And it doesn't matter if they get it or not. I don't want slaves to get it. The majority of slaves. We need slaves. I like living the way I'm living. I like being free. And without slaves, I couldn't be free.
And I hope y'all hear this, brother LJ. I hope y'all do, because I just see like family. I have with people. I would say I see family make poor. Financial decisions. I'm not talking about like big purchases, but wanting to have furniture right now and going to Rent-A-Center or these places, and they end up paying 8, 9, 10x the price of that television because they wanted it now and they wanted to only pay $25 a week. Yep. I think that's the real financial drain. Check cashing places. I think these are real. When people talk about the racial wealth gap, I think this is where it comes to play at, because it's not going to be one big lump sum that gets you. It's those little holes in your budget, you know what I'm saying, where the money just drips out. And, going out to eat maybe 4 or 5 times a month instead of twice a month. I'm just speaking for personal experience. When you get a handle on those things, that's when you really have a handle on your money. I mean, I think the big things, let me push the thermostat down. Those kind of things, we nag about those little things. But then, like I said, you see people going and, like you said, financing things. And with our people, bad credit tends to be a thing, right? So the bad credit, you're going to pay a high interest rate, sometimes exorbitant amounts of interest, and they don't see it because they want instant gratification. And the other thing I want to throw on the table is conspicuous consumption.
Here's the blue pill, red pill. This is what it is. Okay. If you believe your calculator, that's the red pill. If you don't believe your calculator, that's the blue pill. That's it. That's the answer.
But like I said, I think our people see, and like I said, I had to defend them. I'm not defending them because they're right. I had to defend them because I just don't think they get it, where they see it's only $25 a week. It's the seductive way it's presented to them.
That's a program.
Right. You realize that's $25 a week for 52 weeks for 4 years. Do the math. Now you could say that $25 up, got your $600 and went go buy your TV from Walmart, and you won't be in debt. But
this is what you say to somebody like that. This is how you say it, so they'll get it. You say, "How long you been working? What age did you start working?" And say like this person's like 35, 40, right? You say, what age did you start working? They probably say, "Oh, I started working about 16." And you got to say to them, "You've been working since age 16 and you can't buy a TV in cash? You can't buy a TV in cash and you've been working since age 16. That's a problem."
That's I don't have the $600, but I got 25. I'm just saying, like I said, I'm playing devil advocate, but that's the response you'll get, because they're like, "Whoo, that $600 is a lot." But it's 25. I can pay that. I can swing. I can swing that. But I'm like,
okay, and that's another thing. I'm glad you say, when they say 600, if they say out loud, "Woo, $600 is a lot," they just told me everything I needed to know about their finances without them even knowing they told me.
Mm-hmm.
If 600, or when they say something like, if they say, "Woo, that's expensive," for who? You? When you say something's expensive out loud, you're telling everybody about your finances. "Woo, that person's expensive."
I'm just saying. I mean, like I said, I'm standing in for them because they look at it this way, that $600 is expensive.
That's important.
But they don't look at it that if you save that $25 a week, just say if you saved it and went without television for 6 months,
right?
You could go buy it in whole and save yourself, somebody do the quick math of 52 times 25 times 4 years.
See, what they don't, what most people don't know, if you get out of debt, you can go out to eat all the time. You can buy as much coffee as you want. It doesn't matter. You can do all that. All you got to do is get out of debt first. You can go out to eat as much as you want. You can have coffee every damn day, 3 times a day. It won't matter because it's not the coffee. It's not gas prices. None of that. When I go fill up in my gas tank in my truck, I don't look at the gas price. I don't care what the gas price is, as long as it fills up fast. And then I'm out. Peace.
Okay, you see,
but
that
they
goes
don't
back
understand. Go ahead, bro. I just want to make that last point that they don't see that negative. It's just say 2 years.
They don't see negative numbers.
If you see 2 years times 52 weeks times 4 payments times 24, that's, I think it's like $2,600. Where you were supposed to pay $600 for the television. You see what I'm saying? They don't see it though. They don't see that negative 2,600.
I know.
They just see the negative 25. Yeah, they see the negative 25.
Right. So, that's on purpose.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
That's by
it's
design.
sad.
Slaves are number one.
And damn, my bad. I'm glad that piggyback off of what you were saying earlier about when you was like you spend $150 on coffee a month, and they be like no they don't, and they buy $5 Starbucks coffee a day. You had said it doesn't matter. You like slaves, they're just da da da. But I kind of get why you had said that, because it don't matter about the gas price or the coffee or whatever you spend on. Is a bigger picture than that. I get it now. That's
like,
why I brought it up.
For example, here's another example. People that buy Teslas, finance Teslas, think they're saving money on gas. They're not saving money on gas. What are you talking about? You're not saving no money on gas, right? and this is what they people that finance Teslas, they don't. This is what they're doing, right? They'll go and wait at a charging station because it'll be crowded. They'll wait 30 minutes an hour to get to the charging station. And then when they get in the charging station, they'll sit there for 30, 45, 50 minutes to charge their car. Now, you ask me this. If you pulled up to a gas pump and say like the gas was 99 cents a gallon, but the gas station said, but it's going to take an hour for you to pump your gas. Would you wait there an hour to pump your gas for 99-cent gas?
See, I always thought about that. No, because what if somebody, I never understood. I like Tesla, don't get me wrong, but what if somebody chasing you, and you know them scary movies, you pull up to the gas station, you heard them put gas in there, keep it pushing. You pull up in a Tesla, you gotta sit there.
Okay. Yeah, but see, here's the key. Because I'm gonna get me a Tesla, right?
Yeah.
But this is the difference. People that pay cash for Teslas, they have superchargers at home.
Oh.
Because they have the money. If you have the money to buy a Tesla in cash, you have the money to put a supercharger in your house.
That is
People
true.
with money are not going to waste their time at a place. You know what they're going to start doing? They're going to start building like strip malls at every single charging station out there, so they can take the slaves' money, because they can't do nothing because the electric car owns them. So they're going to sit there, charge their car, and they're going to spend even more money at the shops. I totally get it. It's business.
I get it now. Okay. So you said people who actually afford a Tesla can have a charging station at their damn house.
Correct. And you know when they're going to charge their house? When they pull up to the house and put it in, and they're at home. Who cares how long your car takes to charge? You're at home. You chilling. You don't care.
You don't care. Yeah, you chilling. Okay, that's true.
You don't care.
Dang, that's true.
I just pull up to the house. I'm in for the evening. Plug it up. I'm going to watch TV, go backyard, take a bath, whatever you do at home. You're at home.
So I never thought of it like that. Let's say if you live like, an hour away from work, right? And you don't have a charging station because you go to like a gas station and you got to get up an hour early to charge your car. That's great. Because you don't own a charging station. Wow.
Because the car owns them. They think it's so crazy. They think they're saving money on gas. You ain't saving no money on gas, slave. You're financing a Tesla. and for those of you that might have a Tesla and say, what the hell is he talking about? Open up your calculator, put in your car payment minus your car balance and hit equal. That's how much money you're saving in gas right there in the calculator. Look at the calculator. That's how much money you're saving in gas right there.
But isn't that fueled by the thing called conspicuous consumption? Because people want to see other people see them spend money. Like, I mean, one thing I figured out about, like, once I got out of debt, I didn't care what I wore. I mean, I always stay clean. I like to look nice, but it wasn't as pressed because it's like you didn't care about your outside representing a fictitious illusion, like you say, because like a lot of time we dress nice because we don't want people to think that we don't have money.
Yeah, slaves are impressing each other. That's all they're doing. They don't know they're doing that. They don't know.
But once you get debt free, it's like you enjoy saving money. I mean, we used to laugh at people like that, like clip coupons and do those kind of things. Like they would be like laughing and happy about it, but it becomes a habit to save money. Like I don't even go places that I would spend money unless I'm prepared to spend money. Right? I mean, like you know how people like to go to the mall for leisure. Like that's the craziest. That's the craziest habit I've ever seen in my life. I go to stores with a purpose. So I'm going to buy this product, and I'm coming straight out of there because I understand the psychology of how stores are set up. And I just want to make this final point for people that's out there listening. These companies know your psychology 100%, and they know how to separate you from your money. And one of the things Walmart was good about that they over other stores is the way they set their aisles up. It used to be all stores had vertical aisles, and you could memorize where the product was in your head and get in and out of the store. Walmart started running them perpendicular to each other. So you would see more products going in to buy what you wanted to buy, which heightened the chance of you buying stuff. So these stores know how to separate you from your money.
Well, you got to remember this too. Slaves are being sold something 24 hours a day. They just don't know it, right? Radio, TV, ads. They don't know. Once you get out of debt, it's irritating that how much stuff you're being sold to every single day, right? But you don't really notice that when you're in the debt matrix. You just think it's, oh, wow, that looks like a good deal. Oh, wow, I should go to that restaurant because they've been selling to you 24 hours a day nonstop.
That's true. That's very true.
Hey, I'm just that Sigmund Freud, and off your podcast, Moe Factz, you had talked about the double C.
Oh, you're talking about Edward Bernays. Edward Bernays was a marketing genius, and he knew how to play on your psychology. And he even convinced people that smoking cigarettes were healthy. So
exactly.
that's how powerful.
You want to know how to do it like the professionals, Moe Factz? You want to know how to do it like the professionals?
What's that?
Every time a commercial comes on, mute the TV.
I'll do that already.
And then you'll see how that'll show you how they're doing it. Just mute the TV and you'll see exactly how they sell you.
And one of my favorite shows was Mad Men. If people want to go out and watch that show, they tell you how
I'm talking about TV commercials.
Yeah, I'm saying that too, but then also it's a television show about ad agencies in 1960s. Gotcha. And they're saying they tell you all the secrets of how they, how they basically prey on you. Now, it's your choice to be prey, but at the same time, it's predators out there.
Look at Walmart, okay? Now, when you go to Walmart, they hurdle you through. When you go to checkout, they hurdle you through like cattle. You know how cattle are led to slaughter in those rails, and they guide them. When you go to checkout, they lead you through this whole rail of candy and cookies and all this other stuff. And then when you get to the checkout, you check out your own shit. They don't even have employees anymore at some of the Walmarts that around my house. There are no checkout people there, right? It's strictly self-checkout. Walmart's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And just to follow in back what LJ is saying, even the way that the checkout lines are designed, that's why they put the candy bars right there, because they know the kid in the cart can reach it and grab it, and once they grab it, the likelihood of the mother taking it away from them is so slim.
It's almost insulting to me when Walmart does that. Now I don't have no choice. Now I have to check out my own shit. Oh, first I come to buy the stuff there, buy my stuff at your store, and I have to check out my own stuff. It counts on the mood I'm in. If I'm in the mood to do what they say, I'll go to the Walmart to get there. But if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to the Walmart. I'm not.
Yeah. So they like, okay, you going in here to buy stuff, slave. Now you go ahead and check it out. Pretty much like overall, not to everybody, but like most people, they like, now you going to check out, you going to scan your stuff and put it in the bag.
Like when I go through those weavy, you know how they guide you through that whole rail of stuff. First of all, I just want to yell out, "Hey, Walmart, just let you know I'm not a slave. I'm going through this line because I ain't got no choice here." But I want to say that, but I can't. But I know what they're doing. It's like, man, okay, I get it. I totally get it, Walmart. Totally get it.
You know what? That kind of looked like some hurdling cattle or something. It's like the little weave thing.
It is. It's
It's
like
like
cattle. Just watch when you go to a line at Walmart and you're going through the thing, put your phone in your pocket for a minute, right? Why just watch everybody else. Watch everybody just look through everything as they're going through. That's what they want you to do, just like cattle. What else am I gonna pick up? Oh shit. I didn't know I wanted that candy bar. I didn't know I wanted those chips. I didn't know I wanted that mug. I didn't know I wanted. Then they just it's perfect. I get it. Totally get it.
yeah. Well, I mean, is there any thing you want to say, Moe Factz, before I close this up real quick? Because we about to reach the 2-hour mark.
No, I appreciate the brother LJ. Like I said, just trying to set people free, and that's people get frustrated with the term slave, but keep saying that because once you get tired of being a slave, then that's the only way you can be free. And I appreciate all the information you share with us.
Hey, thank you, man. And you know what? Let me tell you something, Moe Factz. I appreciate you getting up here and asking the questions because a lot of people get intimidated, and you came up here and did it. And to get the questions at, because I really do want to help people out of the debt matrix, right? I really do. I really do. But it's all a choice. It's all a choice. And I wanted to put my my link up here because I sell shirts with my statements on there, and a lot of people don't know that.
All right, wait.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm about to say no. Go ahead and drop it real quick so I can highlight it for them, and I'll put it in the description after this live.
I'm gonna put it in the private chats because I can't really. It won't allow me to something to do with the StreamYard for some reason. So if you can see that, Young Grump here, I'm put it in there. There you go. Can you copy and paste it over there?
Yeah, I see it. Hold on, let me go ahead and click on it.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm putting description too. I'm gonna drop it right now.
And I'll put my channel in there too. Let me put my channel.
Yeah, please the channel. And but we're gonna check it out real quick. Save His Mind's Debt. This is what he's talking about right here, fellas.
Check out my t-shirts.
Look fancy. Save His Mind's Debt is my
click on catalog.
Catalog right here.
Yeah, there we go. And then that's all the shirts.
Whoo-hoo. Before exchanging vows, can't pass down what you don't own, debt to income ratio, finance electric cars, don't save money on gas. Oh, snap. I see debt people, and if it doesn't make mathematical sense, life after $0, mortgage versus renters. See, we were just talking about that. See, and this is all about, LJ is all about helping us. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Y'all can get consultation. This is his website right here. Slave to unconscious ego. Run a 401k before borrowing, overdraft protection, negative compound interest. You getting them all of it. SMD 500. The debt matrix. Oh, yeah, the debt matrix. Boom. The price of financial freedom.
Yep.
So, I mean, what I'm trying to tell y'all is that LJ, he really trying to help us. It is not like, not like, it may come off as, I'll let you speak for yourself. Go ahead.
You said it best, Young Grump. I remember when you said when you first heard me say slave, you were like, "Why is he calling me a slave?" You questioned right there because first people get offended. They're like, "Oh my God, he's using the word slave." But you actually, at your young age, you said, "Wait a minute, why is he calling me that?" And if you say that, that means something clicked. You're like, "Okay, wait a minute, this is weird. He's just saying it out loud for no reason. Why is he saying this?" Right? And it made you think, and we've been connected ever since. Period.
Exactly. So I don't know. I just start. Some people have different cognitive functions. They look at stuff differently, True. And I'm like one of those people too, because I don't want to have the emotions, in front, so it could I missed the whole message because I was too emotional and all that. I don't want that. That's why.
Right.
But this is Save His Mind's Debt YouTube channel page right here. Hold on, it says members link.
Click on home. You're on the members page. Yeah, there you go. There's all the videos and stuff.
All the videos right here. All of it. Oh yeah, and he gets it in. Yeah, I say, LJ, let them know about the brainwasher, like when they're saying you're 50 or 60, about how you Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
If you go way to the back when I first started, if you go way to the back of my videos, I have my old workout videos that I used to do, just to kind of defy that. That was before I was that was before, show that one real quick. That was while I was I think I was getting out of debt. I'm not sure. I've been in shape before I was out of debt. But
yeah, I had stars before. Why the heck are they showing? That's crazy. It's just like
it's no sound.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, it's still spinning. I don't know
I'm
why
about to
it's
say
spinning.
it's this. I forgot to tell you, I got this. Hey,
You
I
pay
got
your
this.
internet bill, man? Huh? They throttle you? You ain't paid
Yeah.
your internet bill, have you? They throttled you. Okay, never mind. Well, we were gonna show the video, but young Grump didn't pay his internet, so they throttled him. So
Oh snap! Yeah, you got me on that one. Yeah, but pretty much now, real talk. This brother LJ right here, he's like, in his 50s, and he's lifting his whole body weight up, and he's working out. He's doing what people who are at 21 years old are not doing. So that lets you know that's mind over matter right there.
it is.
So it's possible. If you a conscious slave, it's possible to be free. That's all. You got anything else you want to say, LJ?
You can have a six-pack at 50. Don't believe the TV. That's not true. Okay, that's not true. You can have a six-pack at 50. Okay.
At 50, that's exactly. I heard what he said right there. Though, is there anybody else in the chat? Let me see now. Everybody rocking with you, man.
I really, you know what? People like to listen, and I appreciate it. You notice people don't really, get up on the panel too much, right? Because I get it. I totally get why too. I get it. They probably think I'm mean, or they think I don't want to help them. And what it really is just math. They don't really understand that they can't see negative numbers. I totally get it. Totally get it.
Yeah, understandable. But it'd be like, I'll say, out of people who watching it, it'd be those few who will just come and they'll probably check your page out, they'll check your website out, and they'll do a consultation with you and all that. They'll get to see what's up. See, you got people up in here, SMD for life.
Yeah, that's gonna be a shirt right there. SMD for life is gonna be a shirt for sure.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
We all been there before, and this dude, you can have a 6-pack while you're 70. Yeah, it's like just a mental thing. It's
like
really,
right now, even this podcast, I've already had 2 people buy a shirt right now just because of the podcast.
See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And this is where he wants y'all to get at. He helped me out. He still helped me out. And is there any more questions in the chat before I end this? I appreciate you for spending 2 hours, coming up on this platform.
Man, this is what what's so crazy? This is what I love to do. And until you said 2 hours, I didn't realize it was 2 hours.
Exactly. See,
didn't even realize it was 2 hours.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah. And I want everybody to know here, this is what the answer is. The answer to wealth is, this is what it is. The ability to see negative numbers. That's the answer. That's the answer.
Heavy. One day I'll be fully aware I'm still learning and growing. Yeah, you're right. It take a while for me because I'll say some programming words too and all that. It's a lot of trial and error, but if y'all subscribe to Same as Mine's Dead channel, if y'all can go to his website, purchase his shirts. I see what he says, girl. Hold on.
Yeah, my Instagram is at Savings Minus Dead. Savings Minus Dead at Instagram.
You know what? After we get off this, I'm gonna have all of this. I'm gonna have all your information in the description.
All right. Yeah, because you follow me over there, right? You follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It says Jay-Z and Will Smith invest in a company aimed to help people with low incomes go from renter to homeowner. What do you think about that?
That's business. They're just doing what the banks are doing. They're just taking advantage of it too. They're doing like banks.
Okay.
I saw that. They're just that's his business. I guarantee you they're talking about, and I haven't even read it, but the way the title is, they're probably talking about some kind of subprime mortgage stuff.
They trying to get into. They should have been doing it. I mean, they're just getting into the game.
They're getting into the game. That's all. They're doing what the banks are doing. That's it. Nothing more than that.
Okay, doing what the banks are doing.
They're not doing anything special. They're just using them because they're figures.
I'm glad you say that, because once you, like how you're debt free, you starting to see stuff that I may not see, or where people will be like, oh, I ain't know about it, and you just point right to it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that I appreciate you for that. Again, I ain't gonna hold you up. Hopefully till next time. I'm about to do the timestamps for this. It may take probably a couple of hours after this, but I definitely have this up. I may have some clips where I can edit it and all that and send it your way.
Okay.
Yes, sir.